Hey, today we'll go over an interesting post from Arrowhead, talk about a major order problem, and discuss a stealth nerf that's actually good. And there's much more we'll be discussing in today's video. If you can support the channel today, please tap the like button below at any point and subscribe with notifications on. Let's start off with the enemy stealth nerf that you absolutely should know about. There's a Discord member on my server named Svarog who was able to get a response from the Arrowhead team about the rocket striders, specifically regarding ragdolling and the explosions from this particular automaton. In this post right here, you can see a support request, and he essentially asked if the rocket strider had received any changes that were not mentioned, since he noticed changes about the rocket strider. The support team member responded back with this. Greetings, Helldiver. Thank you for bringing this matter to our attention. This is a known issue, and it was indeed tackled with the last patch, as far as I know. With that, we have confirmation that the rocket strider indeed had received a stealth nerf, and we should see that the explosions and ragdolling are not as crazy as they once were. What I decided to do was check this out in-game to see how it is now with this specific automaton. I noticed right away that I wasn't being tossed around as much, and the explosions didn't seem as intense as they once were. Now sure, the Arrowhead developers may have not brought this up in the latest patch notes, but it's great that they are still addressing issues, receiving our feedback, and responding to it with these patches. So if you didn't know about this, then tap the like button below, and thank you to Svarog for informing me about this support request. Hopefully I am pronouncing your name right. If not, let me know about that. And yeah, just thank you again. Speaking of the Arrowhead team, the community manager Twinbeard posted an interesting update on X, or Twitter if you still refer to it as that. He uploaded an updated image of the streaming setup they have planned. Previously it looked like this, and recently in his new post, the setup now includes computers, monitors, a microphone, and all that you can see here. I suspect we're getting closer to a streaming announcement, and hopefully this is their way of allowing us to ask questions live and get a response from them. We know this is in their plans, considering Twinbeard has responded to a lot of questions about it in the past, indicating how the Arrowhead team would love to start streaming more and respond to our questions, as well as they'd also like to do vlogs and blogs more often. The proof can be seen here. This was a post created on September 24th where he said, "As some of you might know, we're planning on doing more audio-visual content such as vlogs, various streams, interviews, etc. going forward. We're currently in test phase mode for some of this and would love some assistance. Therefore, please write whatever questions you might have for Helldivers 2 in the snazzy form shared here. Questions can be for Arrowhead in general as well, but preferably diver-related stuff. I can't guarantee this will be replied to in public, but I hope so. We can definitely expect them to answer our questions, as you can see, and I'm hyped up about this. I plan to ask a question on the stream whenever that is, and hopefully get a response from them. It's going to be great for the Helldivers 2 community in general, giving us a chance to communicate with the team and see what their thoughts are about the future. If you're excited about this as much as I am, then look out for a future video because I do plan on updating you all on the streams, and when you can check it out once Arrowhead has made a public statement about it. Keep your eyes peeled for that video by subscribing and turning on your notifications. This way you do not miss out on the latest news. Moving along, we have to discuss the recent major order. We could have pulled off a gambit and stopped 2 defense events while liberating 1 planet. However, it seems like a lot of players are not aware of the gambit strategy. If you don't know what it is, then allow me to explain it while also addressing an issue with the galactic war map. First off, I'll explain the gambit strategy by talking about an opportunity we had about 2 days ago. If you look here, we have Errata Prime, which at the time was taken over by the Terminids, and there's Heath that was in a defense event as well as Borok. So if we liberate Errata Prime, it would have stopped the defense events on those 2 planets and given us a point for each one for the latest major order. You might be wondering, how's that possible? Well, when you have a planet like Errata Prime that has a bunch of arrows pointing at a different planet like Heath and Borok, these arrows represent supply routes. If you cut off a supply route, it stops the attack on those planets. However, if you have 2 planets that have been taken over and there's 2 different arrows pointing at one planet, then you cannot do a gambit on that one planet, mainly due to the fact there's 2 planets supplying the one planet with Terminids. Now, not in every case do you want to pull off a gambit because sometimes it can actually be a very bad strategy depending on the planet's decay rate, which you can check out on a site called the Helldivers 2 Companion app. It's great for checking out the planet's health essentially. Anyway, hopefully you now understand what gambit is. If we had pulled that off 2 days ago, we would have had 2 points added to the major order, like I said earlier, But unfortunately, the issue here is that not many players are aware or even know what the Gambit strategy is, and that's why there were so many players leaving Errata Prime at the time instead of staying to liberate it. This didn't really cost us, to be fair, but at the same time, it would have made the latest major order a lot more easier. Thankfully, as you all know from my previous video about 2 days ago, I discovered there was a new Game Master coming, and it's going to be quite exciting for us all. They're going to update the Galactic War map at some point, and we should see a lot more improvements towards the map, which hopefully will make the major orders a lot more manageable and all that good stuff. I recommend you check out that video after you're done with this one, and I'll provide a link below in a pinned comment. Let's now talk about a question I've seen asked quite a lot in recent videos about the in-game files for Helldivers 2 on Steam. If you have as of late noticed that the files are not validating correctly, it's actually not an issue after all, and there's a fix for it if you have more than 10 files not being validated. The proof can be seen here by the support team member Misty, who wrote, "This is completely normal. These files are authentication files that are generated and sent to our backend every time you launch the game. If, however, you have 10 or more files that constantly need to validate, please try the following: update drivers, reinstall the game, delete the content of the Helldivers 2 app data folder. You can find the folder by pressing Windows plus R and then type in %app data %. Please be aware that this will reset all of your in-game settings. If you are still encountering issues with your game, please submit a ticket and we will get round to helping you as soon as possible." This right here is a great workaround for all of you out there who are having issues with validating the files. I thought I'd go over this since I've seen comments about it, and hopefully this will help a lot of you with the crashing issues you might be experiencing recently. Because if you have a bunch of files that are either missing or corrupted somehow, that can cause a lot of issues and crashes. So take a glance at this, try it out, and see if it helps. I'll post the source below in the description. On a completely different topic, there's a player on Reddit who might have discovered a new pistol that was featured in a Helldivers 2 trailer from about 9 months ago. As you can see in this post, there's this player, Old Opposite, took a screenshot where you can clearly see that the gun on the side is something we haven't seen yet in Helldivers 2. I noticed, as did Old Opposite, that this pistol looks quite similar to a Glock. I own one myself in real life, and the grip and shape are similar. Perhaps at some point, we will be receiving a new pistol that will look just like a Glock. I don't think this is a default pistol or something they threw in there to fill up space, since in the trailer, the Helldivers are using weapons we currently have in the game. Now, what are your thoughts about this? Are you up for a pistol that's similar to a Glock? Or would you like something that's completely different? Maybe something that's sci-fi, you know, something that's different. Let me know. Continuing forward, how about we check out a way to autocannon jump? It's a new method that allows you to reach certain heights to get on top of buildings, mountains, or whatever you wish to jump on top of without a jetpack. The autocannon jumping can be compared to Team Fortress 2's rocket jumping. Anyway, before I show you how to do it, this was discovered by Jacob. What you'll need is, of course, an autocannon and any armor type of your choice, preferably with the fortified passive and an experimental infusion booster. Once you're in the game, call down your autocannon and pick it up. What you want to do is aim forward and fire your autocannon, which should launch you forward. What I prefer to do is have my back face the building or mountain I want to get on top of, then I'll dive backwards while firing downwards, and it will launch you in the direction where your back is facing. This can get you on top of either higher spots or on buildings and whatnot, as I've mentioned, and is quite useful when you want to get yourself out of a certain predicament, whether that's being chased by Terminids or Automatons. I thought this was really cool and wanted to share it with you all on Jacob's discovery. Speaking of discovery, a player named Sad Needleworker 590 discovered that if you have the throwing knives equipped, you can actually turn off landmines. No kidding, it's pretty cool, and I'll show you an example right here. We've got the throwing knives equipped, so let's throw a couple of them at the mines, and you'll notice it turns off completely. The thing about this, I'm not entirely sure if this is supposed to happen, considering I've never seen a landmine turn off before, but I'm going to assume the developers intended this, and we are now just figuring it out as of recent. I think this is a useful strategy if you're using throw knives on an automaton planet, but if you're not using throw knives, then, or not a big fan of it anyways, you're probably going to find this useless, but nonetheless, pretty cool. Okay, it's time to cover your suggested loadouts from the previous video. As always, if you have posted your comment from a previous video and it was not picked, then feel free to post it again and I might select it. Anyway, a player named Curdle Gorilla commented in the last video and posted this loadout right here called the Babysitter. The primary we have equipped is the new SG-20 Halt shotgun for stunning enemies and switching to the flechette rounds for damaging basic bugs, alpha commanders, stalkers, and more. The secondary is the stim pistol that pairs nicely with the Halt shotgun because you can stun enemies and stop them from attacking your squad members, which then gives you the chance to heal your teammates with the stim pistol. A great combo. As for grenades, we are using the gas grenade to confuse the Terminids and exterminate a few if they're weak enough, and especially if they're the smaller bugs because they'll basically die instantly. Next for stratagems, the first one is either going to be the orbital laser or napalm barrage for clearing out enemies in groups, or chargers since the orbital laser can clear them out easily. The second stratagem is the gas grenade, gallon barrage, or the strafe run. I prefer to use the gas strike so I can apply damage over time and daze the enemies. And you can pair this nicely with the orbital laser. The third stratagem is the EAT 17, strafe run, or stratagem weapons of your choice. I chose the EAT 17 so I could defeat Bile Titans, Chargers, and Impalers. Lastly, we have the jetpack stratagem so we can get out of those sticky situations where we're getting ganged up on. And it's great overall if you need to get to your teammate quickly just to heal them. Overall, I enjoy this loadout based on how unique it is and fun to use, although I don't like the orbital laser due to the fact the cooldown is longer. And I would have preferred to use the napalm barrage instead, considering I'm using the EAT, so if there are chargers, I can take them out. So anyways, I'll give it a 4 out of 5 John Helldiver medals. If we're using the napalm barrage instead of the orbital laser, I'd give it 5 out of 5 medals. Solid loadout, unique and different, since we're using it primarily to keep our teammates alive. So with all the information out of the way and the loadout suggestions, this is your Helldivers 2 news. If you guys would like to be featured in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below. And with that, let's check out the top 3 comments. The first top comment is by Jordan Mailhot. They should make a weather event in which a super destroyer is shot down in orbit and the pieces rain down like a meteor storm. And when the main body of the destroyer hits, it's like a ICBM explosion. I see ships get shot down all the time when I'm watching the planet from my ship, but we never see the rubble in game. This is a valid point right here. We should see more details on the planets. For example, Akamar is supposed to have Terminids that are caged inside an electric fence, so if we're able to dive on that planet again, we should see electric cages, either with the bugs inside or some that have broken out. The second top comment is by Melissa Rainstorms 2588. An updated galactic war map is okay, but what we need is content. No kidding, it feels like content has been dried for some time, but that's mainly because, the developers were trying to figure out this 60-day plan. Now that that's over with, we absolutely need to see some content, either in the next big update, whether that's an exchange system, the new currency they've talked about, and whatever else they have planned. So yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Lastly, the third comment is by Trench Gaming 2166. I wholeheartedly agree that the DSS should only be on whichever side has a major order. That way it won't be on the bug front, but it'll be able to help with some of the more difficult MMOs. That right there is awesome that you agree with it. So yeah, hopefully that is a mechanic that's implemented, where it's not just on a random planet on the bug side when there's something big going on, when it needs to be on the Automaton side or vice versa. With the top comments out of the way, I have to say thank you to everyone who subscribed in the last video. We reached about 256 subscribers. That's incredible. But let's reach a new goal. Let's get up to like 500 subscribers if we can. I know there's a majority of you out here that watch my videos, but you're not subscribed just yet. So hit it, it's free. I always say that just to let you guys know. Click the subscribe button, comment below, let me know what your thoughts are about the video, on certain subjects, and all that good stuff. I appreciate all of you that come by and check out the channel. It truly means a lot to me because I wouldn't be here without you guys. You guys have supported me for such a long time, and I hope I can continue doing this. So once again, I just want to say thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.